After 1 month, I came back to Nigeria, and I was like, nah, I'm not sold. I can't do this for the rest of my life. And then the real trouble began. So, what are you going to tell? Of course, to my classmates, it was already clear that this guy was not, it doesn't look like this guy is going to do medicine. Now, you said I co-founded the Writers Club. Yeah, it was, I sat down with a group of guys, and we said, oh, our press club is dead. So we founded the Writers Club. I was the leader of the club. I led it for 2 years. I applied the principles I got in the books. And the club was like the best club in school while I was on school and all of that. So for me, it was like, oh, I like this kind of stuff. I like this kind of stuff. I love this. I love that. But now I need to make a decision. Playtime is over. So in 600 level, I told myself, okay, I'm making my decision. I won't practice medicine. But I had to graduate. So, and that's another thing. There's the next slide there that says knowledge. There's a verse in the Bible that says, zeal without knowledge is, I don't know, depending on the, what do you call it? Depending on the version you're reading. It says, zeal without knowledge is not good. So some of you may be fired up. You could listen to speakers here right now and you're like, yes, this is what I've been saying since. No, the next thing is not to just go and drop out. You get what I'm saying? You need to have a plan. You need to sit down and have a plan. Trust me, it always makes sense to have a plan. So I sat down in 600 level and told myself, I am going to finish this course. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to be asking questions. So I was asking people questions. What are you doing? People that I saw that it looks like they will not practice medicine, but they are hiding it. I'm going to ask them questions. It turns out that a lot of people have tried to leave medicine. But apparently, leaving medicine itself is a struggle. So medicine is a case of like, man, you are not like a cult, like you've entered, you cannot just leave. And this is the reason why. It's not because anybody's going to stop you. There's a stigma attached. I'll give you an example. I went to a place that I think a consultancy, doing my NYSC, and just like we were just talking, and they're like, guys, you can do anything you want to do. Guys, it does not matter what you studied in your first degree. Well, and I was like, oh, wow, this is great, this is nice. So after the program, I went to meet the person I was speaking. I said, sir, I really enjoyed this talk that you said, man. In fact, I'm thinking of doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, great, tell me about it. What did you study? I said, medicine. Yeah, just step back. So, sorry, what did you say? I said medicine. He said, it's not your type that I was referring to. So you can understand when I say the story of greed, because, I mean, everywhere you turn, the system. And when I was talking about society, the seeds in that place, I forgot to mention society. So it's not just your parent or your schools, the societal expectations. You studied medicine and you say you're not studying medicine. There's something wrong with you somewhere. So the guy stepped back. I'm conscious I'm running out of time, please. I could get a bit of 5 minutes, thanks. The guy stepped back, was like, no. And that was where the conversation ended. I talked to a few other people. I saw someone who was practicing medicine, and the guy was like, he tried. He had to come back, pick up his papers. I'm like, whoa, failure ahead. How am I going to do this? So I told myself, okay, I have house job. I have NYSC. 2 years to make it happen. After that, I will have to most likely come back to medicine. And that's when knowledge is important. I put against serendipity again, because what happened was, I think we invited Jimmy Tewe to our school. He talked about stuff. I was able to get his contact. And he told me something. Okay, there's this career leader assessment software that helps you to know what it is that you want to do. So it was discounted then for $7,500. I invested in it. I did that. I paid the money. I did the test in one midnight or something like that. I think it was like in the midnight. And the test came out. Top 3, if I recall, were things around management consulting, HR, marketing, entrepreneurship. When I saw marketing, I'm like, there's an error in this software. There's a problem in this software. It's not working. Entrepreneurship, I agree with. I want to be my own CEO. But marketing, I didn't even know what marketing was. So I thought marketing was like, you're on the streets there, you're just selling things up. And I'm like, no, I cannot leave medicine to go and do this. So I told myself, let's assume that was a mistake in that software. So I did not even know what marketing was. And all of a sudden, as God will have it, I had this, I had a tab, then a Samsung tab. What I used to use the tab for was reading books. So I used to collect a lot of e-books from people. I don't know till tomorrow how I got that e-book, but it was on brand management. I don't know how it got into I don't know where I collected it from, because nobody around me was studying brand. Nobody was talking about it. And I just opened it. I happened to be reading it during my house job. And I was just like, this is it. This is it. This is what I want to do. This is it. This is the place where I'm supposed to go. I remember seeing my dad the next evening or something. He came around, and I'm just like, I found what I want to do. And that was where the real journey began. So I went back to Jimmy Tech, where I told him, this is what I want to do. And he was like, he connected me to a certain person connected me to a certain academy, and that's how the journey started. It was not an easy journey in any way, but part of the things, and I think the other speaker already dealt with that, is parental pressure. I had calls from my parents. For like the next 2 years, almost every midnight, I and my dad were in constant conversation. You need to change this thing. Why do you have to change it? I'm thankful for the personality I have. If I've made up my mind, it really doesn't matter. But not everybody has that kind of personality. And I acknowledge that. I have a very, if I've made up my mind on something, it doesn't. My pastor called. I imagine, a lot of people called for 2 years nonstop. I was doing a course then, and my dad refused to pay for it. And I wasn't really earning a lot then. So I was really struggling to pay. If I was going to drop out of the course, and one day my mom just calls out of the blue, how much is that stuff and everything? And she just paid, just at the nick of time. But for 2 years, it was that constant battle. You will not do this. Oh, you should rethink it. Try and do the exam. I'm burning all bridges. And then I was able to do the transition. The beauty is that now that we're fully into it, in fact, it was my dad that even told me, this chartered marketer that you're saying, I won't have been a chartered marketer. I had stopped at level 6, and I'm like, man, this thing is too stressful. And he's like, Ife, that thing that you're doing, have you reached the final? I said, I have not. He said, no, you need to. So the chartered marketer you're seeing is that my dad actually encouraged me to actually go and said, whatever you're doing, do it. And you get to the last slide there, I'll round off in about a minute. The last slide talks around the summary, the role of parents. For the parents here, I think it's very important to be mindful of the kind of seeds you're planting in your children. The world in which I grew up is different from the world in which we are now. Then there was not a lot of options. Now there are plenty of things. You do not know what's going to happen and what job is going to be relevant in the next 10 years. You do not know. Even we that we are speaking do not know. Social media manager was not a job growing up. Now it's a job that influencer was not a job 10 years ago. So do not restrict your children. Do not. Guide them. There's a difference between guiding and then just dragging. Guide, don't drag. For school owners there, it's time, if you've not reviewed your curriculum in a long time, I think it's important that you start to. The world has moved. If your school is not in, the children know what they want. If you're not moving with the times, they will just put you in a place there and do what they want to do. Your first degree, for those of you that are here, you may have wanted to do something, and in your first degree, you don't get a chance to do it. Don't give up. First degree, see it more as a springboard than as a final destination. So you may not get what you want in your first degree, but again, and that's where my last statement comes in. It's not shown on the slide there, but it says, it's a statement by Abraham Lincoln, whatever you are, be a good one. So you may be trying to, I want to be an engineer, but maybe I want to be the world-class musician, but right now I'm a cashier at a bank or something. That's not an excuse to be a terrible cashier. It's not an excuse to be a mediocre person. The trait you carry as that cashier is what you're going to carry into whatever it is that you want to do. So whatever you are, be a good one. Thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the organizers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.